I'm just gonna wait.
Did it work?
It's live right now. Yes, it is, and I looked crazy. So here we are in the land of Evenflo Feeding. Just gonna make sure this is going okay. Yeah, we're good. So hello everyone. This is our first time to actually do this on the Evenflo page. If you are here, hit like or hit heart or comment. Let us know you're here. Let us know where you're from. Let us know if you are pregnant. Let us know if you are nursing, pumping, whatever. We need your stories. So this is a little bit different for many reasons tonight. I'm currently squatting on the floor of my hotel room in New York because there's no light. And we're making do. We're making do with what we can right now. So I have been working with Evenflo and Shari combined for a few years now. Every month we do a pumping and breastfeeding Q&A on my Facebook page. We thought we'd change things up this month and come over here to Evenflo's page and do it. So for those of you who don't know me, I've never really had to introduce myself on one of these. And then I'll let you, or you know what, ladies first.
Oh, you're so sweet, Jamie. Oh,
Hi,
everyone. Yeah, this is different tonight. We are both not on either of our own pages, and we're here on Evenflo, and it's very appropriate because it's been years of doing this together, and the first time actually doing it from their home base, which I'm really excited about and happy that you're all here. And any of you guys have just first found the Evenflo page over the last couple days, go ahead and put some hearts across the screen because we're happy you followed us over. So I'm Shari Criso, for those of you who don't know me, and I'll be answering many of your questions tonight. I am a registered nurse. I'm a certified nurse midwife, an international board certified lactation consultant, and I've been taking care of moms and babies for over 28 years at this point. And I've delivered over 600 babies when I was a midwife. So done a lot of different things, and you can go ahead and ask me whatever questions you want, and hopefully you'll have some questions in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
But we did get questions, Jamie.
We have questions. I have them on my phone, a spreadsheet.
Awesome. Hi, Evenflo.
Organized. Things are organized. Even though my feet might fall asleep. And you know what? That's all right. It's going to be fine. So I'm Jamie. I'm known as many things.
Here, I'll put up our names.
It's the Baby Guy NYC is my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter handles, etc. People call me the Baby Guy NYC. They call me the baby gear guy, that loud person. I many names. So we have been working with Evenflo, like I said, for a few years, where we do these Q&As, talk about the pump, talk about its features, and answer your questions. So we're here on the face. There's Lucky.
You see him behind me? They can't see him because you see more screen than they do. But yeah, he's walking around back here.
So we do have some questions tonight. And if any of you have questions, please feel free to shoot them out, whatever. I'll try to get to them. But we will start. Should we just start with the question right now then?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, before we get started, let's just let everybody know what the prize is tonight in case they didn't sign up.
Yep.
So tonight, someone's going to win the Evenflo Advanced Double Electric Breast Pump, the Deluxe, and I can show you a picture of that too if you'd like. Hold on a second. This is our prize tonight. There we go. And if you didn't already register to win, you can go over to Win the Pump, and Joe will put a link in the chat. You could do that afterwards, and just make sure you're registered. And as long as you're here and put a comment in the
partaking,
chat, then somebody will win. Okay. Yep. So if you want to win, just let's hear from you if you want to win. It's an awesome pump, and we're going to talk more about it in just a little bit. But let's start with some questions. And go ahead and post your questions too, because we'll answer some in the chat tonight.
All right. So Rebecca from Bella Vista, Arkansas, I know exactly where that is. It's the homeland, has a question. Can too many fluids water down breast milk?
Okay, so I'm going to assume that she means that she's not taking water and pouring it into pumped breast milk, but she's referring to drinking too much water.
Her fluid consumption.
Can that water down your breast milk?
Yeah.
So it's a great question, and for a lot of reasons, but absolutely not. Okay, too much water will not change the the composition of your breast milk at all. Too much water can be a problem for other reasons, but it will not change what actually comes out of the breast. On the other hand, if you're not drinking enough water, where you are dehydrated, where your body is dehydrated, that can decrease your breast milk supply. And then at the same time, drinking too much water, more than your body actually needs, that too can decrease your milk supply. This comes up all the time, Jamie. You know, when people talk about like, oh, you know, I have low milk supply, or I want to make more, so I just drink and drink and drink. And you see this advice from mom to mom a lot about just drink more water and you'll make more milk. And that's not actually how it works. If you're dehydrated and you drink more water, it will help your supply usually. If you're not dehydrated, it could actually have the opposite effect. But as far as like what comes out and the milk itself, it will not make your milk more watery.
Yeah. I actually, it was a few weeks ago on a Facebook page that really doesn't do anything pump related or whatever. They were doing a breastfeeding Q&A, and I watched it because this is how I work. I watch things. And it was like a peer-to-peer breastfeeding Q&A and pumping session. Fine, valid, support is great, information is great. But one thing that they kept hitting over and over is to make sure you always have water and you're always drinking water, because that's how you produce the milk. And that is completely incorrect.
Nope. It's a hard way to explain it, because it's incorrect if you're thinking that drinking more is a way to increase your supply.
Yeah.
But it is correct if you're not drinking enough and you're dehydrated.
You have to stay hydrated.
You have to stay hydrated. So when moms say, oh, but whenever I drink more water, I make more milk, that's probably because they're not drinking enough for what their body needs. The best way to tell is really to look at your pee. If your pee is, brighter yellow, if it's more concentrated.
Gatorade.
Yeah, like then you need to drink more water. Usually we say drink to thirst. But lots of times when you're dehydrated, you might not feel thirsty. So it's not really a great indication either. That your pee, the color of your pee is really the best way to tell whether you're drinking enough. And then if you're not making enough, pay attention to it. That could be one of the very easily remedied causes.
Yeah, I always can tell dehydration is very real because I live on coffee. I try to be very good about my water intake. I really do. And I drink a lot of it.
Plus, it's really dry where you live in Colorado.
Yeah. Oh, it's very dry in Denver. But I'm always like chugging water, and it's like you're like, oh, my pee looks like Gatorade. I need to hydrate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Not.
Yep. And Emily's saying here in the chat too that she drinks to thirst, but she experienced extreme thirst when the baby, when she nursed her baby, and that's true. Like you will be thirstier if you think about it. If you are expressing that much fluid out of your body every day, in order to make milk, your body needs the extra water to make the milk. And so you're going to feel thirstier because your body's going to be calling for it. Your body's going to be saying more water, just like you're going to be hungrier too, need more food. But it will not change the composition.
I think what a lot of people don't really understand about hydration is technically you need half of your body weight in ounces in terms of water when you're not nursing, or you don't really have. That's just your average water intake to maintain hydration. So you have to think about that. Like if you're, I don't know how much women weigh, but it's like if you're like, let's just say 100 pounds.
We're not going to talk about that. And we're not going to talk about that.
We're not. But like, if you weigh 100 pounds, you need 50 ounces of water a day, bare minimum, and then you have to crank that up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Can we talk while we're on the subject of watery milk? Can we discuss what can cause your milk to be more watery if it's not more water intake? So sometimes the milk can be more watery, and that could be caused just from an oversupply. So when the breast is really, really full, and we've talked about this so many times, as the breast gets fuller, when you're engorged, when you're coming out of a growth spurt, if you waited too long to feed the baby, or if you've been pumping or creating more milk, don't do that.
I'm sorry.
I mean, false. I've had the flu for the last week. So if I look green, it's because I am. It's not just the lighting. But we're both exhausted right now. So excuse me if I blow my nose in the middle of all this, or if I trip over my nose. It's
fine. I just walked 23 miles the past 3 days at a trade show.
We're just a pair here, aren't we? But is anything really any different than it ever is? Not really, unfortunately. But back to what I was saying, if your breasts are full, it typically will make the milk more watery. And so if you're seeing an issue where the baby's not gaining weight enough, if it's not like a volume issue, but just the baby's just gaining really slow for whatever reason, or the baby seems to be more gassy or more colicky, because that can happen when the milk is more watery. There's not enough fat to help digest all that lactose. That could cause your milk to be more watery. So I just wanted to say that because I do talk about watery milk, but not in the context of what you're eating or drinking.
Very good. This is a very good question, actually, and we've never really addressed this on any of these Q&As. Gina from Pittsburgh says, "All done pumping!" ! Mm-hmm. Since it's my last baby and it's a closed system, what can I do with my pump?
Good question. What can you do with your pump? Is it a decorative piece?
You can bedazzle it. You can bronze it and do like baby shoes.
Mm-hmm. You can have a party and just get rid of it.
You can make Christmas ornaments out of those phalanges.
You can put it away, maybe for your next baby. If it's a closed system, especially, sometimes that will last for a long time. I think what she's referring to is can I donate it? Can I share it? And I'm going to answer that question. Even if it's closed, these are individual use pumps, and I wouldn't do that. And it's not just because, there could be something growing in the motor, like with an open system pump. But more, my opinion is that at some point, if you were to give it away or give it to somebody else, if it's not functioning, if you've used it for a long time and it's not functioning as well, then that could impact somebody else's milk supply. And so I don't really feel that using individual use pumps over, and sharing them with your friends is a really good idea. And they're not meant for that. They're not intended for them to be shared. There are pumps that are out there for rent that are meant for moms to pass around, or not pass around, but for more than one person, multi-user pumps. This is not one of them. So do whatever you want with it. Don't give it to anybody.
Hollow it out and plant a fern inside.
It's the thing that Jamie, we've everybody wants to everybody wants to get their brand new stroller or diaper bag, and then they want to go ahead and share their breast pump. And so I had a store. A lot of you know that I had a retail store where I sold products like this for 12 years. And every person so many people would come in and talk, they would spend all this money on their diaper bags, and they would spend all this money on clothing and all these other gadgets in there. And they would have 10 different carriers, and they would spend a fortune. And then they would go and try to get the cheapest car seat or a used breast pump. And at the time back then, there was no coverage by insurance.
Yeah.
People were buying and selling these on eBay. And I would just want to throw up, hearing people talk about how they bought these open system pumps on eBay. Oh, and they were using these pumps, how gross. Just how gross.
You just got very animated.
you do that to me. Do that to me. But how disgusting, right? Using somebody's old pump. I don't know what's growing inside that pump.
And it's like, the thing is, it's the same kind of thing in terms of like internally with the car seat. The reason you don't get them used is because you don't know if something is wrong in the structure. With the pump, you don't know what's going on internally, not even just with mold, but with the motor being worn down.
Exactly.
Because motors are only designed, in most pumps, the warranty is really by pumping hours. And it's like, if you're exclusively pumping, that pump is not going, the motor is not going to last as long as like if you were occasionally pumping and you use it with multiple kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what, especially when it comes to the Evenflo pump, they're not expensive enough to share them or not get one that is new for yourself. You know, they're just not. I mean, they're very affordable. They're fantastic quality, and they're easier to afford, and so there's no reason to share these pumps, really.
And now with insurance and with DMEs,
exactly,
now you can get the pump covered, and the retail of this pump always hovers right around $100, and that's like a nice dinner for a couple and some wine, which you're not really drinking because you're pregnant. So it's like, just budget and set money aside if for some reason your insurance policy doesn't cover it, and then you have a really good pump.
Exactly. And I understand this, that whoever asked that question, I don't remember her name, but probably wants to do something nice and donate it or something like that, but you don't do that. Should we talk about what an open and a closed system is, since we're on that topic?
Yes, because there's also, I will just skip to this, the question that's on here.
Okay. Yeah.
Sarah Ostrowski Simmons from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Why should I get a closed system pump? The whole open closed system thing is confusing to me.
Okay, good. So let's talk about what open and closed systems are. You know what? I have the video. I have the checklist video. Should we play the video?
Yeah.
Video, and then we could talk about open and closed systems for a minute. But I have a great demonstration in there, so let me just do that. Hold on one second, everybody. Okay.
Let's face it, your breast pump is one of the most important items that
wait,
you will
hold
get
on a
when
second.
it comes to your baby.
I didn't do it right.
Do you know what to look for?
I know what to look for.
Hold on a second. First, I have to bring the screen up to the broadcast so that you could see it, not just me.
There we go.
All right, there we go.
Each day is a gift.
All right. Hey, listen, the fact that I can even do this today.
Oh, we're nailing it. Come on.
Let's face it, your breast pump is one of the most important items that you will get when it comes to your baby. Do you know what to look for? While some pumps may come with a fancy name or price tag, they may be missing the most essential features which can affect the functionality and the performance. You don't want your pump to suck. Before you choose your breast pump, make sure you learn the features that are most important and must-haves. All you have to do is follow my breast pump checklist. All pumps come with either an open system or a closed system. Open systems do not have a barrier to prevent milk from getting into the tubes of your pump. This can cause mold, bacteria, and viruses to grow. True closed systems keep your tubing clean and protect your precious milk. In order to get the most out of your breast pump and your breasts, you'll need a pump with independent speed and suction controls. Pumps that have one dial, minimal settings, or features that try to do it for you will not allow you to be fully in control. My 3-stage pumping method for getting more milk out depends on this feature. Not all women come in the same size. The flange, which goes up against your breast, comes in different sizes too. If your flange does not fit, you will feel pain and you will not be able to get your milk out. Since the best fit is determined while using it, always look for a pump that includes multiple flange sizes in the box. Even with the best planning, there are things you just can't plan for, like being near a power outlet when you need to use your pump. Having a pump that's portable, lightweight, and most of all, has a battery power option is essential. That way, you will always be ready and it will turn on when you need it. When choosing your breast pump, just follow this short, simple list and you will get what you need.
All right. Let's see. There we are.
It's a pretty good little synopsis there.
Well, it really goes through everything that you need to think about when you're looking for your breast pump. And those are those 4 things on the checklist, which is the closed system, multiple flange sizes. And the flanges are these pieces that go here. And it gets all blurry when I do that. Okay, the flanges comes with 3 different sizes included in the pump, which is really important. Like I was saying in the video. Independent speed and suction dials so that you can do that 3-stage pumping method and make sure that you're getting multiple letdowns. And then also batteries so that it takes AA batteries. And you want to use really good quality batteries, brand name batteries when you're using it on your pump because it will make a difference.
Those batteries at Dollar Tree.
Exactly. So just what we were talking about before the video as far as the closed system. This is what I was showing you in the video, and that's a closed system. That means that there is a barrier. And people think that milk somehow is supposed to be in this tubing. It's not supposed to be in the tubing, ever. Okay?
It's so funny to me because this is my 13th year in the baby gear space, and that's nuts to me. But back when I started at Bye Bye Baby, and it was like, we'd take the people upstairs and they'd look at all the pumps. It even back then, people thought milk was supposed to be in the tubes. And you'd think by some miracle or whatever, it's been 13 years since back then and whatever, people would understand milk doesn't go in those tubes.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because we're always talking about breast pumps. Like you said, 13 years for you. Yeah. For me, a lot of years. And we know how a breast pump works and we know what these features are because they're everyday for us. For a new mom who's just pregnant for the first time, breast pumps are not part of your vocabulary. You may know what a breast pump is, but you may have never seen one up close. You definitely won't have any idea what are you looking for and how does it actually work. Yeah. It's all brand new. So, that's why I try to narrow it down to those features because it can get overwhelming looking at a pump and thinking, okay, how do I make a decision? But these are the most important things, and specifically this because it can make a difference of whether you contaminate your milk or not, whether it stays clean. And your breast milk is, a bodily fluid that you're pumping. You're feeding it to your baby. This is what your baby's eating, and so keeping it clean is super important. Mm-hmm. In fact, all the features that I go over are all about protecting your milk in one way or another. Protecting your milk, your breast milk, and protecting your breast milk supply. That is the purpose of a breast pump.
Yeah.
That is the only purpose of a breast pump, and having enough milk for your baby when you're not with your baby.
Are you ready for another question?
I'm always ready, Jamie.
Listen, you're good. Julie from Ontario, Canada land. When feeding on a side-lying position, is it strictly necessary to be on a tummy-to-tummy? Also, is it okay to put a small pillow under his head to elevate a little bit? I hope you'll notice my question. Thank you.
Wonderful. And yes, we do notice your questions. Anybody who submitted, we actually had it go into a list so that we could pull them all out tonight. Spreadsheet. We were very organized with this tonight. So.
And I have a new app I need to tell you about later. We won't do it tonight, but I got a brand new app that's going to change your life.
Oh, awesome. Can't wait. Okay, don't forget.
Nope.
So as far, I forgot the question now.
Side lying, is it necessary?
Side lying, yes. Okay, so Yes, being tummy to tummy is important. What that means is the baby's not turning its head to nurse. The baby is completely straight at your breast. And this is more important when the baby is smaller and younger. So when the baby's first, like little newborns, having that positioning be perfect is way more important for them to be able to extract the milk from the breast, get a good latch, prevent your nipples from being sore, and not wearing them out without, where they're just sucking a lot and not getting enough. But as the baby gets older, if you guys are in bed and the baby turns their head, they could pretty much nurse in any position you want. So my answer to like, do I have to have the perfect position as you get more into breastfeeding is the position where the baby gets milk and it doesn't hurt. To me, that's a definition of a perfect position. I mean, there is no like rule. If the baby's growing, gaining weight, thriving, hitting milestones, doing well, and you're not in pain, go at it. Okay, that's really it. So you don't have to worry. If you need to lift the baby's head up on a little pillow to get the baby more positioned at the breast, absolutely. Put a little pillow under the baby's head. The main thing is to not fall asleep like that with pillows and blankets and other things in the bed. So that's more of a concern to me as you're asking this question than, is it a problem for nursing?
Yeah. Because a lot of moms are overtired, and it's like it's one of those things like you have to have your wits about you.
I'm more worried about putting a pillow under the baby and then falling asleep where the baby's, face down on a pillow or turned sideways to a pillow. That's more of a concern than the positioning. So just be really careful. If you're going to nurse the baby laying in bed, which is a really comfortable position to be in, and for a nursing mom, for new moms who are not sleeping a lot, it's important to be able to rest while you're nursing. Just make sure your bed is completely prepared and, in case you doze off, that there's no big comforters everywhere, that there's no pillows near the baby's face, even your own pajamas and clothing is not loose, that your hair is tied back, like things that you wouldn't even think about. You have to be really careful when you're in bed with the baby.
Yeah. Well, here's one you're just gonna love.
Yeah.
Shari doesn't like questions about.
See the guy blow my nose while I'm talking to you.
Shari doesn't like questions about biting.
Oh God.
This isn't necessarily about biting.
Uh-huh.
It is. Rhonda Griffin from Brunswick, Georgia, has a question. My 5-month-old is teething, and it is affecting her latch. My nipples. My nipples.
Nipples?
I was reading too far ahead. My nipples are very sore.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry about it. How do I fix it?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to go in a different direction with that question than what you would think as far as biting, because when the baby's teething, for sure, they're going to start scraping their teeth, and so there can be some biting or scraping. That's what they do, kind of scrape on the nipple, and that can make it very sore. But also, when the baby's teething, there's a lot of saliva production. And when there's a lot of saliva, that too can make your nipples really sore as well. So one tip I could give you, or give her, not you, Jamie, but her.
I'm good.
Using a little bit of like an Earth Mama, like a nipple butter or an organic nipple butter, some kind of a coating, and I would make it an organic one, completely lanolin free, and just coat the nipple a little bit, not too much, but just a little, and you could nurse with that on. That could help to put a little bit of a barrier between the saliva that's building up and the nipple, and that could prevent some of the soreness, as well as just washing off the nipple a little bit after you've fed. Those are some. Typically, we don't say to do that, but if there's a buildup of saliva, that could make a difference. And then don't let the baby chew down. Don't let the baby go to you to teeth. Give the baby a teething toy or just a washcloth, a frozen washcloth, or frozen bagel, or whatever you want to give the baby, something to chew down on, and let them rub their gums on that versus your nipple. Positioning will help too. We always talk about this, holding the baby closer to the breast to keep their mouth wide open, paying attention so that the baby starts to fall asleep or doze off. You take the baby off the breast because their tendency when they're teething is that they want their teeth hurt, their gums hurt, and so they're going to want to bite down.
Did you happen to see my Roses Are Red poem about nursing the other day?
I feel like I did. Remind me.
Excuse me. I'm very proud of this one. I was coming up with all kinds of poems on Valentine's Day, and you have to read this correctly for it to really.
I think I remember. Yeah.
Come on now. Here we go. Come through. I have all these Toy Fair posts right now. I got to dig. So it should be right over here. One moment. Just one moment. It's going to be all right. All right. Here you go. And Shari, I want your feedback on this.
I will give it to you.
When working on latch, if you flare open the lipple, make sure they get breast tissue, not just the nipple.
Oh, I didn't hear that one. Oh, say that again. Say it again.
When working on latch, if you flare open the lipple, make sure they get breast tissue, not just the nipple.
I love it. Yay!
I was really proud.
It's awesome. You should be proud. That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
You are a poet, and you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
You did know it.
I'll go back to questions.
A lipple.
The lip will. It's a contraction.
Oh, the lipple. I get it. Okay.
Open the lip will. Make sure they get breast tissue. It's a contraction.
It's awesome. Nothing's as good as screaming out the window in New York City, though.
Oh no! So last year, I had made the worst flight decision of my life and flown from Vancouver to New York, but I went Vancouver, Seattle, Phoenix, O'Hare, and Newark because I needed to stay on my airline. So I did 26 hours of travel with barely any sleep, and Shari and I and some Evenflo gals went to Yummy Mummy on the Upper East Side, which is also a DME, and you can get your pump through them. It's a great resource. So I was just completely bonkers and crazy at this point. So I just started screaming out the window while we're driving through New York. Got any questions about colostrum?
Mastitis, plug docs, anyone?
We're
turning around
talking about mastitis and the boob flu and all kinds of things. So I make bold choices, you know.
That was funny. I have a video of us in the car. I have to play that video. I'll find it.
When we've just completely gone bonkers. Okay. Got it. Melissa Lennox has a question. She's from Dartmouth, Massachusetts. I work for a tax firm and have very busy hours, especially now. I found with both of my kids, I had a very hard time keeping my supply up during the crazy hours. What do you find helps best with keeping supply up? I'm a picky eater drinker and I don't have my own office, so I constantly have to pick up and move and find a spare room anytime I go to pump.
Mm-hmm. It's really hard when you're back to work. It's really hard. Like I have so much deep respect for all the mamas who are working and pumping and feeding. And it's just hard. I mean, it's hard anyway, but it just add an extra layer. It's always going to come back to the same number one answer when it comes to how do you keep your supply up. It always comes back to make sure that you're expressing enough, make sure that you're pumping frequently enough or often enough, that you're keeping up with your baby. And so, that's sometimes easier said than done. And of course, all the other things that we talked about earlier, making sure that you're not dehydrating when you're busy at work. It can be really easy to forget to drink water and you could dehydrate, and that could be a decrease in supply, or you're not eating enough or frequently. You have to pack snacks and make sure that you're eating throughout the day. But beyond that, it's always the number one thing is making sure that you're pumping or feeding frequently enough. That's how the body makes milk. When the milk comes out, because you've pumped or you've fed, your body gets the signal, make more. When you don't pump or you don't feed and long stretches go by, the body gets the signal, make less. It's actually quite simple in that way. But sometimes moms will pump frequently enough, but they're not pumping effectively. That means that they don't have a flange that's fitting them. So make sure that these are not your issues, okay? That the flange is fitting you properly, that you're not having any pain. When your flange is too small, you will have some pain, or you might not, but you're not going to get all the milk out. It's really important that it fits right. Make sure that you know how to use your pump and that you get a pump that is adjustable and can get multiple letdowns. That's how you're going to get that second, third letdown and really express all the milk as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you could just sit there for long periods of time and not really get enough out, and it's not going to give the signal to your body to make more. So having a pump that you can get multiple letdowns. Does everybody know what the multiple letdowns are, what I'm talking about?
I do, because I date online.
Yes. But we're talking about the other kind of multiple letdowns, and not everybody knows what that is. Your breasts will let down more than
what multiple online dating letdowns are either. Trust me.
Maybe they don't. I don't know.
Nope.
Hey, listen.
I will write a book.
So anyway, those are the most important things. Making sure that you have, that you're pumping frequently enough, that it fits, that you're getting the milk out. When I'm talking about multiple letdowns, and we won't show the video tonight, but if you want to see, it's not even pinned anymore. I'm out of focus. It's not even pinned anymore on top of my page, but I think you can go to my YouTube channel and actually see it. Am I blurry?
Come closer to the camera and then back away. Stay there. Now back. Oh no. There you go. Now back away. There we go.
Why does it do that? It's like my contacts.
It's just how it happens.
I was thinking for a minute, is it just me?
You just got really fogged up for a minute.
Yeah. So multiple letdowns are when you can stimulate your breast to let down more than one time. Okay, that means like when you first start pumping, the breast first, you're pumping a little bit faster, a little bit less suction, a little quicker and gentler at the beginning. And then after a minute or so, 30 seconds, your milk will start to flow. And that's when you change the settings on your pump so that the pumping slows down, but it gets stronger. You increase the suction on your pump. And when you do that, your milk will start to express. It's the expression stage of pumping. And then just like your baby, you can express when the milk starts to slow down, you could stimulate your body with the pump to start again and do that over and over again. And there is a very specific way of doing it with your settings that I teach in that video.
The video is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clear. It's very, very clear how it all works.
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll try to, if you go to my Facebook page, and I think we should be tagged. If not, Christina, I don't think I could tag on Be Live. I think no. Christina has to edit this post and just tag you and me so people can find our pages if they need to. But in my video section, it's definitely there on my Facebook page and also on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. This is just it's kind of hard in a spreadsheet sometimes to read the question because you have to scroll back and forth. So that's what I'm doing. Monica from San Antonio, Texas says, I'm about to leave my 16-month-old baby for 3.5 days. I have to take a final for midwifery school that is out of town, but don't have a choice but to leave him. Well, that's awesome. You're taking a midwifery final. Very good on you. Supply is barely enough for him. I am not a regular pumper any longer. Any suggestions to keep up my supply during this long time away? I will be pumping regularly while there. Anything else I can do? I'm so worried supply will plummet.
Similar answer to what we just talked about as far as sticking with the schedule, not skipping feedings, get up during the night to pump. typically that will help. And one more tip I could give is after you're done pumping, sometimes hand expressing after you're pumping with your electric pump. So finishing the pumping session with some hand expression, you could typically get out more milk than the pump can. You have the pump on and it's not flowing anymore. After you're done, you try to hand express, you'll be able to get the last bits out. And getting those last bits of milk out, even with the hand expression, is going to keep your supply better.
Mm-hmm.
And also warm compresses too. Warm, like moist heat. Putting some moist heat on the breast, that will also help to get the circulation going and getting the milk to let down easier. So it's easier to pump when you're doing it.
I'm sorry I keep shifting about, but
you're actually sitting on the floor.
I'm actually sitting on my floor. My computer is on my bed. Listen, I sacrificed for my art. For
you really are sacrificing. I don't want you to hurt yourself, though.
I went to the conference room in the hotel, and it was 100 degrees, and they couldn't put the music off. Then I came back up. I tried different rooms in the hotel trying to get light. Oh. So the only good light in my room, I turned all my lights up really bright. I tried to angle some stuff in a mirror. That didn't work. And the only really good light is over here by the bed. This is my pillow. So I'm kneeling on the ground.
You do everything for these mamas. I
try my hardest.
They appreciate it.
No one appreciates my.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. I love you.
I love y'all. Okay. Megan Boyd from Reedsville, North Carolina. I had a lumpectomy on my right breast in June. I'm now pregnant with my fourth, due in July. Could this affect my milk production? It was benign, and I've healed well. I have noticed my right breast is a little smaller, but I've already had colostrum come out, so I take that as a good sign. First off, congratulations on it being benign. Yeah. That's wonderful, wonderful. So I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. It's hard to know until you actually start nursing. It could affect it. It might not. Chances are it's probably going to be fine, but it all depends on how much, if any areas of the breast were severed from other areas. So in other words, if the ducts were cut at all, if there was any damage to the breast tissue at all. Sometimes it depends on where the scar is. Sometimes if there's any incisions near where the nerve is, it's usually the outside of the breast, the lower outer quadrant of the breast is where the nerve runs to cause that letdown and the stimulation to happen. So that can happen if you have any kind of surgery on your breast. So breast surgery can impact milk supply, but it sounds like in this case it probably won't. Thank God. We'll just have to wait and see. It's the same as like a breast reduction. When people have had, it's not the same as a breast reduction, but I'm talking about surgery on the breast. That can also sever the ducts that go to the nipple, prevent milk from flowing in certain areas of the breast. It can prevent milk from getting from areas to the breast to the nipple, which then can dry up different areas of the breast and impact supply. I would say just go forward as you normally would. Enjoy your pregnancy. Enjoy the whole process, be grateful, and, most likely everything.
When time comes, get support.
And when time comes, get support, exactly. And remember that, you don't necessarily need two breasts to breastfeed. There really is more of a spare, So most moms can, if you had to, could exclusively breastfeed on one breast as it. I breastfed exclusively on my right breast with my first daughter. She just stopped nursing on the left side when she was about 4 months old. And I breastfed the whole rest of the year on one side and made plenty of milk. And that's how moms who are feeding multiples do it. Or if they're, if there's a problem with one side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Somebody just posted a really big post into the chat.
A question?
I think
I can't see any of the questions because I'm having to look on my phone at the spreadsheet. Okay. So, do you want to take that?
Let me see if I can open it up and expand it. Really? Oh, it's really, really long. Okay. Uh, oh, she's just giving us her journey. Thank you, Angela. Thanks for sharing.
I'll look at that once we're done. I'm trying to.
She's actually talking about the fact that she needed to formula feed. That, you know, sometimes the baby just needs to be fed. And you know what? Let me just address that, because that is true. We're obviously we're here to talk about breastfeeding tonight. It's a breastfeeding Q&A. First and foremost, your baby needs to eat and your baby needs to be fed. Okay, so nobody's talking about breastfeeding at all costs. And this is an important thing to say. But at the same time, often moms are given a lot of misinformation and a lot of guidance that is not accurate. And that's what I encounter a lot with all the moms who I talk to every day, online, in person, is that there's just so much misinformation out there that people wind up giving up on breastfeeding or having to supplement when they really didn't need to. And that's not to discount the times when it is necessary. But so often there's advice that is just wrong. It's so wrong. And it makes me sad, because I'll get the questions and they'll say, but my pediatrician said that I'm taking this medication, and because I'm taking this antibiotic, I had to pump and dump. I mean, look at what we just dealt with the CDC and the flu. Okay? So there's a perfect example. This is the CDC giving us advice to stop breastfeeding when we're sick, when we all know that's the one time when you definitely don't stop breastfeeding. Your baby's going to be at risk if you stop nursing. And Jamie and I spoke about it when this came out, and I was like, absolutely, you don't do this. And, but here's the CDC giving advice. And up until recently, and Jamie, I know you posted it, so did I, that they retracted that and they changed it back to what we all know is the case, which is you don't stop breastfeeding. You don't. It's dangerous for your baby. So that's what we're talking about.
The World Health Organization has never even recommended taking a baby away from a breastfeeding mother when a mother has the flu.
Never.
Like, that's not something you do.
Right. And what's scary is that how many, especially right now in the middle of flu season, how many breastfeeding moms followed the CDC advice and separated from their babies and wound up not breastfeeding, not being able to get up and pump while they're sick with the flu. How many babies don't take bottles? Like, just so many things that were wrong with that statement. And that's why we do what we do here. That's why I do this, is because I'm just trying to circulate good information. And back to, what Angela's saying here, as far as, it's all that matters is the baby is fed. Yes, it's important. It's the most important is that your baby's fed. But what's really important is that you get to make those choices out of accurate, clear information and not some, misguided, whatever,
Power for the people in back.
Yeah.
Like, education is the best thing. And
Absolutely.
it's why, I will never judge anybody who ever comments on my wall about anything. And it's like, obviously I don't have the medical background that you do as an IBCLC or a midwife or any of that, which is why I come to you with questions when I have them. It's why I go to Dawn when I have feeding questions from people. It's like, I would never put myself in an expert's shoes when I'm not an expert. I connect people to experts.
Of course.
But it's like, I just try to give people information. You do the very best with the information you are given. You educate yourself and you move forward.
Absolutely. And I've had so many moms who are having their second, their third, their fourth babies who'll find me very late, with their fourth baby. And I just had somebody the other day, I posted a message I got from a mom, Gina, who just had her fourth baby. And she told me, I wasn't able to, she had breast reduction surgery and just did not have any success breastfeeding her first 3 children. And then after listening and watching and taking classes with me, she was able to breastfeed this last one for 6 months. And she's so happy. And it was not because she didn't make milk, it's because she had bad advice. And is it okay if she wasn't able to breastfeed and she chose not to? Absolutely. It's a personal choice of what you want to do. But in her case, her choice was to breastfeed, and she got all the right tools this time. And that's what's most important. And for her baby, that's what's most important.
I'm getting questions texted to me. Hold on.
Okay.
This is interesting. So thank you for texting these over, Evenflo, because I just can't see anything because the viewer's not up right now. Normally I'd have 2 computer screens. Questions. Is it normal for baby to get frustrated nursing when I'm on my period?
Oh, yeah. Okay, good question.
We've never touched that.
No, we really haven't. Isn't it interesting? We do this so much. We've done this for so many years, and there's always new topics that we haven't really talked.
We have never even talked about breastfeeding and menstruation at all.
We haven't? Are you sure?
I'm positive. Because
Well, we've talked about breastfeeding and birth control.
Yeah.
Maybe not menstruation. Okay. So when you have your period, yes, your baby can get frustrated because milk supply can drop. That's the hormones. All right. So sometimes for some of you, you won't notice, and for some of you, you won't get your period the whole time you're breastfeeding. For others, you'll get your period 6 weeks after delivery and like clockwork every month through the whole time that you're exclusively breastfeeding. It's really individual. And if you are one of those moms who does have her period while she's breastfeeding, it can be a little challenging because the shift in the hormones can cause a slight drop in milk production. And sometimes that's the way you know, oh, I must be getting my period. The best way to deal with that is to make sure, again, that you're feeding frequently. You may have to go from feeding every, 3 to 4 hours back to feeding every 2 hours to keep your baby hydrated, to keep your baby draining the breast and giving every last bit. Make sure that you're hydrated. Make sure that, you're not trying to stretch off the feedings. Make sure that you're waking up during the night to feed. Go for different times. If you can't get all the feedings in during the day, enough in, then try to pick a time. Maybe the baby's been sleeping through the night and you get up and pump once during the night, or wake up with the baby and feed during the night. Main thing is to feed on demand and just keep doing your best that you can. Typically what I find is that it's not such a drastic drop in supply that the baby needs to be supplemented. Okay, so that's usually not the case. Usually means that you need to feed a little more frequently. But yeah, it will definitely have an impact, and your baby might get frustrated.
It happens.
Yeah, sometimes eating like some of the lactation bars, drinking the mother's milk tea, taking some supplements like with fenugreek, those kind of things that work really well. The More Milk Plus from do they still call it that, Mother Love?
Yeah.
So, using some of these herbal supplements for increasing the galactagogues that we call them, the different galactagogues that can help to increase supply, those can be really helpful when you have your period. I used some of those when I was breastfeeding and got my period, and it definitely helped. But don't start taking a whole bunch of stuff without checking in with a lactation consultant or working with somebody, because, you don't want to just start.
You don't want to get oversupply.
Yeah, you just got to be careful. You can rebound from all that after your period is done.
So we have time for probably 2 more questions. Do you have any tips on how to travel with pump and expressed milk?
Yes. So first of all, you want to make sure that you are traveling with a cooler that has, so it depends on if you're bringing back the milk with you, you want to make sure that the breast milk is in a cooler with ice packs, frozen ice packs. And when did she ask about traveling like on a plane or traveling in?
All I have is traveling with pump and milk.
Let's just stay simple with it. The main thing is that imagine if you're traveling back from work with your breast milk, okay? Wherever you're traveling with your breast milk, it's important to keep it cool. So making sure that it's in a cooler, the Evenflo has a cooler that comes with the pump, but any kind of cooler, this is a great little size to be able to put your milk storage containers inside here with frozen ice packs. Milk can stay in the cooler for like 24 hours and still be fine with frozen ice packs. So you want to make sure that you have those. Don't travel and with milk and not have it cool.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say about traveling.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Without getting into all kinds of TSA issues, which I'm not going to do right now.
I noticed the storage bags have a space for time. How is that important? Should I try to give baby milk from a similar time frame?
I don't know whether time, yes, milk pumped at different times of the day is different. So milk that comes out in the morning is different than milk that's in the evening. There's different fat content. Did I just disappear?
No.
What is that?
I don't know. I'll check my Facebook really quick, but I still see you.
You still see me? Because I don't see myself at all.
Well, hold on. We're going to go check.
All right. I'm going to go out and come back. Hold on a second.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Grayson. I appreciate many things. I do believe she left, and I'll just be here. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great time.
Okay, I'm back. Oh, well, sorry.
Whatever.
Okay, they can see me. I don't know why, but I turned black to myself here in the screen. The whole screen went black. So I have no idea what that was.
Technology.
They said they could still see me, so I don't know. Anyway, milk does change at different times of the day, but I would say when I'm looking at the Evenflo storage, the freezer bags, and there's a little symbol on here for a clock, but I would take that not for time. I would take that for date. It's more important to date your milk, like what day you pumped it on versus what time of day. And there is a little symbol for a clock, and what's most important is what day, because milk has different storage times, and you want to be using the oldest first, and you don't, you can use it in the refrigerator. And I saw somebody post that 4 to 8 days in the refrigerator for refrigerated milk, 3 to 4 months in the freezer, and 6 months into the deep freezer.
This is one of the things you always talk about, is why it's important to freeze milk in different quantities.
Yeah.
So you don't thaw a big bag of milk and potentially waste it. So it's important to freeze smaller amounts and all of that. So if your baby only needs like an ounce or whatever, you can do that and not waste.
Yeah, absolutely. And what Jamie means by that too is that once the milk is defrosted, then you need to use it within 24 hours.
Kind of like chicken.
Kind of like chicken. We've talked about chicken before.
Yes, we have.
Chicken has come up more than one occasion.
Come up more than periods. So
it has. It's come up more than periods. Not in this house.
I also grew up in a house full of women, so
and we eat a lot of chicken here.
Yeah, there we go.
But yes, when you have fresh milk, it can stay for up to a week in the refrigerator. But when you have frozen, defrosted milk out of the freezer, you need to use it within 24 hours. So that's why you don't want to defrost more than what you need and waste it, like you were saying. These storage, have you guys tried these freezer bags? They're awesome.
Great.
Freezer bags are just really, really awesome. And they're fantastic material. This is like a military grade material that just thaws really quickly. It freezes really quickly. The seams are really strong, so you'll never have any milk exploding out of it.
It's got a gusset.
Which I don't have any milk in it tonight, but it has where it opens up at the bottom so that when you pour milk into this, they can stand straight up.
It has an affirmation on it. It
does. It does. What does this one say? It says, "More ounces of love for your little one." Best sayings.
Evenflo Feeding. I'm going to ask the audience right now. Audience, if you think I should come up with affirmations for the next printing of bags from Evenflo Feeding, I think we need a surplus of hearts right now. Because I think I could come up with some really good bag affirmations. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I think I can do it.
I think so. They're really great. And the way they prepare, they create a nice spout. They have a nice place to write on it. They're just a great bag. And I know people out there are using them and they love them. Really love them. And then they have these too. I just got a whole box of goodies from Evenflo today. Actually, it was perfect because my stuff was getting so worn out. I actually was down to my last freezer bag of demonstration.
Oh no.
So I just got a whole bunch of stuff from them, and I'm so excited. But you know what? I have a picture I can show you of this. Look at this. Check this out. Check this out. Where is it? There you go. Those are the milk storage bag adapters. This actually connects right to the milk storage bags from Evenflo, and you can attach these right to your pump flange.
And they're sturdy.
What?
They're really sturdy. When you hook them in, you can tug them. Like, you don't want to pull with excessive force. Don't be nuts. But you can really hook them up in there and tug, and they don't budge.
Oh no, they're awesome. They're really strong. These are the clips right here. Is that
a new color?
Is this a new color? Yeah, I think.
Mine are green, I think.
Oh no, these are aqua.
Okay, maybe it's just the color on here. Whatever.
I can't. It's not. Even though I look so bright right now, there's not a lot of light in the room. It's right on my face, or maybe that's the problem. It's right in my eyes. So I can't see it. But these are aqua.
Okay.
But they are really strong, and they're really easy too. So that let me see if I could do this. So what you would do is I'm tearing off the top of the milk storage bag, and then you would open this up. It's got a nice Ziploc on it, and you stick this right inside here, and it attaches. And now this is really strong. And then once you go, now you can pump right into it. So if you didn't want to pump into your bottles, you can screw this right onto your pump now and pump directly into the bag.
Yeah.
And then when you go to release it, what's nice is it's really strong, so it's going to hold. You're not going to lose your milk, but when you go to release it, you literally just press like that, and it releases really nice and easy.
Hearts for convenience features.
Hearts for convenience, absolutely. I love these things.
Yeah.
They're really good. And somebody was asking where they can get them. I think, Evenflo, and Elise is responding. Good.
Perfect.
Yep.
Well, we've been going a good hour now. That went by really quickly tonight.
It's great. Did everybody enjoy this tonight? I did.
Yeah. If you enjoyed it, heart and let us know. Make sure you're following Evenflo on Facebook so you can stay on top of things, information they pop out, on top of our Q&As. Just make sure you do this. They've been our partner for many a year now.
That's
so
for
sure. You're following them. It's just called etiquette.
Yep. And if you didn't get your question answered tonight, I am doing a breastfeeding Q&A by myself on Wednesday night on my page at 9 p.m. Post your questions for me. I'm gonna announce it probably tomorrow morning. But if you had questions here that didn't get answered, you can send them to me through the link that we had given to post your questions, or you can post them on my page, and I'll try to answer them on Wednesday night at 9 p.m.
Great. I'm not doing a breastfeeding Q&A by myself anytime soon because obvious things. But we will be doing this again next month. And I do believe that one will be in person.
Yay!
Finally!
Oh, finally! It feels like a lot of months.
Yeah. It hasn't been that many months. That's what's crazy.
I don't remember was it LA?
November.
LA?
Yeah, it's only been 3 months.
It feels like forever when I'm away from here. I
know.
It just feels like forever. It's been a long, cold 3 months too over here.
Oh. So thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight on the Evenflo page. Shari, I obviously cannot do this without you.
I love doing it with you.
This is wonderful. Thank you all for hanging out. Make sure you enter for the pump
Yes. Hey, Joe, will you put the link up for everybody just in case? Oh, he did it already.
Yeah. And I've also shared everything on my wall, so you can click the link on the wall, watch this on my wall, whatever. I actually shared this video as soon as we went live.
Awesome.
So just dispersing information.
Awesome.
So thank you all.
Thank you, Evenflo. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jamie, for doing this tonight. And it was great. This turned out to be a great night over here.
Yeah.
It was exciting. This is the first of its kind, and I'm sure there'll be many more. So
yeah.
Awesome.
I kind of like doing it on the Evenflo page.
Of course.
I've never even thought about doing it on the Evenflo page, and I kind of like it. It's like
I really like
it's like a different platform, and like so game on.
Yep. It's awesome. No, it was a great night. And all of you guys, thanks for showing up here. Did you all get the messages to know when to come? Did you like having that reminder tonight? Because I sent out a reminder to a lot of people, letting everybody know about it. Did it help? Just wondering.
Yeah, feedback.
So
yeah, we will let you go. I'm going to get out of the crouching position.
Yeah. Go get the blood rushing back into your feet and legs, Jamie.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you later. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.